from. And so we're sitting here now, and the entirety of infinite reality exists in the space that we're sitting in. But we are only able, like the radio and television stations and the analog system, we're only able to see one channel. All the other channels, I mean, what happens? You've got a radio station, you've got a radio. So you tune it to radio station A. Okay, I can hear it. Okay, so now move it to radio station B. Oh, I can hear another station now. Yeah. And the station you've just gone from, station A, has not ceased to exist. It's still broadcasting. It's that you're not tuned to it anymore. And these, I call them biological computers, lock us in to a certain band of frequency. And that's why we can only see a limit, a tiny limit of what there is to see. And so when you talk about
aliens,
yeah, and non-human entities, understandably, from that perspective, people say, well, why can't we see them then? Well, my answer to that is you can hardly see anything, mate.
Have you ever seen an alien? And what am I to look out for if I'm to spot one?
Well, first of all, they operate in this other dimension overwhelmingly. I've talked to people all around the world, literally all around the world, who've had the experience of what's called shapeshifting, which can be quite simply explained.
Yeah, what is shapeshifting?
Okay.
In brief.
Right.
Because I want to talk to you about the moon after this.
Okay. So these particular bloodlines, they have two energetic fields. We have an energetic field, the human field, right? Now, okay, oh dear. Again, you have to go into certain background about the nature of reality itself before shapeshifting becomes explainable.
People are going to struggle with the words reality and aliens in the same sentence.
Yeah, well, they can struggle how they like. I'm only interested in what's going on. So let's put it this way. One of the things that's very, very clear to me is as this technological explosion is unfolding, getting more and more faster and faster, it's actually mirroring the very reality that we're experiencing and the way we experience it. So in this room, probably, is Wi-Fi. And Wi-Fi is encoded in a radiation field with all the information of the internet. If I get a computer, but we can't see it, where's the frickin' Wi-Fi? It's outside visible light, so we can't see it. So then you get a computer. And what the computer does is decode the Wi-Fi. And it decodes the Wi-Fi and it puts it on the screen in a completely different form to how it exists in the Wi-Fi field. It's graphics, it's moving pictures, it's words, whatever. And the inside the computer is where the decoding is going on. So we're looking at the screen, but actually everything's going on inside the computer. So then, this is why I call the human body a biological computer. When you do the research into how the body works, and this again is mainstream science, the five senses, which is how we interact with this reality we think is real, are picking up waveform information. A wonderful example, perfect example, is the ears. I'm talking to you now, but there's not words passing between us. What's passing between us is a frequency field of information generated by my vocal cords. Your ears pick up those sound waves. They turn them into electrical signals. They communicate them electrically to the brain, and different parts of the brain specialize in decoding the different senses. So the visual part is back here somewhere. And then the brain puts together that information into a sense of reality that we think is external to us. And it looks as if it's external, the way we experience it. But actually, it's all going on in here, just as it's going on inside the computer. So all the senses work in the same way. They take frequency information and they turn it into electrical information and communicate it to the brain. So what I'm looking at now is, in its base form, I'm looking at an information field, which is what your body is, my body is. And if you get into quantum physics, the physics below the material world in the deep energetic levels, they've shown this to be true. Nothing that we think is physical is actually physical. I'll give you an example. We are told that physicality is created by atoms, right? Atoms are empty. They have no solidity. There's a great phrase that describes it. If, an atom is a nucleus and there's then the electrons flying around the nucleus. That's what an atom is. It has no solidity. And as someone said, if you take the nucleus to be the size of a 10-cent piece, then the atom would be the size of a baseball stadium. And virtually everything inside an atom is, quote, empty space. You go into the nucleus and you go into the electrons and it's the same thing. It's empty space. How can empty space create a physical world? It can't, because it's all a fricking illusion decoded by the mind.
How do we explain pain then? If you was to punch me in the nose, that's a physical act and I'm going to feel the force of that and it's going to hurt.
Very, very good question, which can be explained, because...
I'm not encouraging you do punch me in the face.
No. I'm not violent. Give me 10 minutes. There are now pain relief techniques, which I came across when my son Gareth was in hospital with a broken leg, and I was chatting to the doctor, and he said, well, we're going to try to do this because these are new pain relief techniques. And what it was they take the point of the pain, in this case your chin, right? And they stop the signal going from the point of impact to the brain. Because only when that signal happens do you say, ouch, because the brain is decoding the signal into the pain. And
you sure that weren't morphine?
Pain is... like everything else, it's a frequency signal which the brain decodes, and it's if we go on in terms of the shape shifting, therefore